Hey everyone, it's Mad along with both Goos, and today we're going to talk about Dragon Quest II, our two new units that are coming, and do a 2-for-1 special since they're coming out at the same time. We're going to talk about Rickerd, the Prince of Cannock, and Peronel, the Princess of Moonbrooke. And on top of this too, I'm going to give a quick overview on the A unit as well, the Ork King. So please stay tuned and enjoy. So I hope you enjoyed the opening for Rickerd, the Prince of Cannock. So overall, we have a leadership effect that I think is a little underpowered with the Sizz power increased by 10%. It does have some decent use overall, but honestly, we got spoiled by Baramos's 15%, so I'm a little disappointed by the 10% overall here. But it is all Sizz, so it does have a lot of uses. So it goes up a bit there. I just really, really wish it was at 15%. Then I would have a better feel and better overall gut feeling for Rickerd. He is a hero class, so remember he learns a special fourth heroic skill. He cannot be taught a new skill, and obviously he is an attacker. His first attack, Cemetery Slash, is randomly inflicts 60% physical damage 4 times to enemies, rarely seals spells. The eliminating the spells is kind of useful because he does have some problems being killed fairly quickly, but it is semi-random. Now with the 4 hits, you do slightly increase your chance of hitting there as well for the sealing the spells, but all in all, it's a little disappointing of a skill. Second skill, Vegarian, is a very powerful 108 3 range Sizz physical damage AoE. And Burning Strike is a fan shaped, it's a smaller fan, but does 250% Sizz physical damage to all enemies. This is where you're going to use his skills. It does a lot of damage, but personally, you'll see where I start feeling a little underwhelmed with this skill set compared to some of the other units that we have seen recently. His awakening skill, if you do want Rickerd, you do need to get his first awakening, gives him movement +1. That is usually a key to these type of units. Only having 2 squares instead of 3 for movement is a huge no-no. And another reason why I'm a little underwhelmed with this kit. The zap resistance and wind resistance are second and fourth, and the third and fifth is the burning and some Maria sword power +5. So first I'm going to go with his level 110 stats. HP is HO7. Attack is 480, which is very high compared to most other units. The defense, though, is low at 267. And yes, he has 807, so he can do 1 or 2 spells, but all in all, he is a glass cannon with an agility of only 338. It's still fast, but not really fast enough. And actually, a bit frustrating is he has a wisdom of 340, but you can't teach him a healing spell, which actually would really benefit him in being that much more useful. As I say, he has the movement of 3 and a weight of 65. So from an arena skill standpoint, unless if there's Sizz power increase, I don't really see using him all that much. His HP and agility isn't all that great. A movement of 3 is okay. Now, if you're fighting a lot of spell users, he might be able to seal them and make it a lot easier, but I don't like going to chance in arena because, at least with my luck, I roll poorly. But if I face against Rickerd, he's going to actually stop almost all of my spells because that's how it rolls for me. His preferred weapon is Hikari's sword. This is going to be his weapon that you can farm in the DQ2 metal exchange. Has HP 36, attack 11, and it says physical power plus 4%. It does have the burning slash as well if you want to use that as well. Has his physical power, so it's built basically for Rickerd. I'm probably going to go for his physical power, HP, and agility. And as I say, with my luck in this game, I'm going to do the guaranteed pull sometime early this week, and I'll probably get him. So his heroic skill learned is the Samadare Slash. It is a very powerful 360% physical damage on one unit, which you can use twice instead of once, and is starting on turn 2. So this is still decent for arena. He can do some pretty nasty sizz damage on turn 2 with that. But still, as a arena unit, I have some worries about him, and I do have some worries about him in the PvE content. So I am not as super excited about this unit as a lot of others, especially before him. But at the very least, let's go ahead and watch all of his skills in action right now. Alright, now with that done, let's go on with his pros, cons, and pull. So, for the pros, he has a very useful leadership. I just wish it was buffed a little bit more than 10%. He has very high attack power, and with dupe, he can move 3 spaces. Now, I haven't talked about his last ability, where if he kills a unit, he will get stronger with this unique one skill, which lasts 3 turns. So if you're fighting against like a boss that has a lot of throwaway, you can actually really boost his power by allowing Rickerd to kill. It will boost on top of it for last each of the 3 turns. So if he can kill enemies, he could really increase his power by a very large amount. But all in all, his pros don't really outweigh his cons. He is hard locked on sizz damage, and his defense is very low, and his HP and agility at best being medium. I am very disappointed overall, especially for being a hero unit. I was really hoping for more when he came out before, and he's just not there. Is he a bad unit? No. But compared to some of the last, I'd say 3 banners that we've had, he falls behind all 3 of them. The will I pull? No. Not at all. He's powerful, sizz, physical, and can be useful as a leader. But I'm sorry. There's just nothing for me that screams gotta have at all. And for me, he is a fairly easy skip. If you do need a sizz user, and honestly, I think I like Elena more. Or she's Frizz, but still, I like Elena's skill set more. She has more critical chance than Rickerd. And she can do a lot more damage. And she's a very old unit in this game now. So, no, I just cannot recommend Rickerd at all. And it hurts me. DQ2 is one of those games that I played an awful lot when I was young. Just not there. All right, so let's stay tuned for our next unit. Welcome to Peronel. I'm actually a little disappointed it's not Princessa. I kind of like that name better, but let's just go through that. So she has zap spell power by 20%. We don't have a great deal of zap spells right now. We will be getting more of them in the near future. So her leadership will get more useful later down the line, but as of right now, there is a little bit of lacking for usefulness, but it's still a decent leadership effect. And even though it's more narrow, I like it better than Rickerd's. Her first skill is very interesting. It's Holy Light, which removes abnormal conditions to all allies within range. This is an absolutely wonderful skill for fighting against bosses that like to do curse, and you're going to start seeing a whole lot of these units and bosses that we're going to be fighting where Peronel is actually going to be very useful. Also in Arena, the weeks where I'm in the 200s is because I get 3 bad rounds where I've got a 10% chance of being XXX, and both my main damage dealers get hit. It takes me an extra round or two to get through it, and I lose a unit because of that. Really knocks you down. Peronel having that, along with having 2 very powerful spells on top of it, does make her a very good arena unit to counteract teams that like to be very annoying with lowering your stats or stunning, etc. Second skill, Blasting Ionizon. It's a very large bang spell damage to one enemy, and it greatly lowers defense. Now, it's a rare chance to happen, but still very useful single unit spell. Has a range of 3. And her third skill, Gigadane, is a very strong zap spell damage. All AoE does a massive amount of damage, and with Boom and Zap, she has 2 elemental skills that are different elements. Very, very, very awesome. I do really like it. Now, for her Awakening skill, she has a very, very useful First Awakening skill. Since she's a mage, she can live with a movement only of 2, and instead she gets to recover 10 MP of allies that's within her range for the first 10 turns. It is not an awful lot, but for some units, that is enough to get them to get one more really powerful skill before they completely run dry on MP. And that's usually enough to push you along, or even better, it doesn't make you scared to unload as much damage as possible to shrink the battlefield as much as possible. So it offers a lot of usefulness. And it's a bit odd, but I think it's a really good odd, and it gives her a niche, especially since she is the type of unit that does good damage, but has a lot of utility along with that. And is a different type of Nera that once I get through with her heroic skill, I'll kind of talk. Nera, I like just a little bit more because of the healing that she could do on command and continuously, but Peronel, I think, fills a more specific niche, which might be even better. But let's just go through the rest here. She has Crackle resistance and Wind resistance for 2nd and 4th Awakening. And the Gigadane Moonbrooke Prayer power is the 3rd and 5th. Alright, so her level 110 stats. Oddly enough, she has better HP and defense than Rickerd does. For a mage, she is very beefy. Her agility is slow, but this is one of the few units where I'm actually more comfortable with her being slow because I want her to counteract other units, if possible, that are uh, making my like 2 or 3 units that are attacking, stunned, that I could fix and I can react to. I think that is a great agility range for her to be in the 320s. And in all honesty, I wouldn't be even upset if I got her into the 300 range. So having her up to 5 hearts, for me, if I were to go pretty hard for her, isn't really where I want her to be. Her wisdom is very good at 430, so she has a lot of oomph backing up on her damage. Movements to weight, obviously, as being a hero, is at 65. Her preferred weapon is the Moonbrooke wand, which we can get a DQ exchange. Gives her zap power plus 4% with wisdom 22. She can also learn a Gigadate boost as well. And along with the zap power and wisdom, this is a very nice weapon for her. No surprise, you're starting to understand the trend here. These weapons are really designed for the units that go in there. And if you get lucky with the rolls and you get the unit, that they really enhance and make them more powerful. Most importantly here, her heroic skill is very, very strong. It can be used on turn 2 instead of turn 3, and it greatly recovers the HP of a unit, increases offense and defensive power and skill. So it boosts up their stats and gives them 3 skills on top of it. So it's a double buff on both the offensive and defensive power. And on top of it, also increases spell resistance. 3 turns for those buffs. Very, very powerful, but this is her only healing skill. This is where I kind of get frustrated for her being a hero, just because I wish instead of maybe having to bang, she had her healing ability. Maybe not, it wouldn't obviously be this powerful, but I wish she had this healing ability more on call. And maybe her bang or that bang turned into a really powerful zap spell. I think then we would have really seen a wow, and even though we had Seraphy just now, wow, this is another incredibly useful unit for support that we can mix and match. Instead, she has the ability to remove debuffs, but she can't really heal except for that one big heal, and that's more of a oh no button. But now instead of you being weak, I heal you probably to full. I give you all this power. Go destroy. So it is a great heroic skill. It's frustrating that's her only heal. And I would have rather seen it be a very powerful attack instead of have a slightly lower heal. But that's just my take, my 2 cents. There's probably others who are really excited about this heal, and honestly, I don't blame them. And what's nice is, because she can bring on a decent amount of damage, maybe having Seraphy and Peronel along together is a pretty potent combination, and can be used that way. So it's not the worst thing in the world, and maybe with people who are really think about team compositions, this will fit better for them as well. But if I was just to go for single units where I would like to just be able to mix and match and not have to really pair them together, that would have been the most optimal. Now, with all that complaints, let's go ahead and watch her skills, including Moonbrooke Prayer, right now. All right. Now her pros, cons, and pull. She's an incredibly good support unit. She is not a healer. She doesn't really buff you up. But man, against really annoying bosses or against arena teams that are designed to really just slow you down instead of just kill you, she is fantastic, and she has great damage capabilities with two elemental spells. And her stats are very well designed for her as well. She can dual attack, so if someone else attacks and she's close enough there with a zap skill, so she can boost your damage as well with other units. So she has a lot of wonderful support type things that helps out. So is she very useful in arena? Yes. Is she very useful in PvE? Yes. Is she going to be the almighty by herself? No. And with the Awakening plus one, she has that really unique 10 MP to all allies within range. Is it powerful? No. Can it be really useful? Yes. And as I say, that dual attack that she has with the zap skills, basically she casts like a mini zap spell. It is her level 1 bonus. And is just kind of that comes along for the ride that you wouldn't know about it until you actually pulled her. For her cons, the movement of 2 kind of hurts. It's not the end of the world, but it kind of hurts because of her ability to do the dual attack. And her healing ability is limited to the ultimate. As I say, correct team building can easily make her feel really powerful and useful. It's just, I like having my units very self-sufficient if all possible. And for her being a support unit that does a lot of damage, especially since she has that unique skill, I would have rather have seen her have that heal, make her a true healing unit that can do damage, a much better version of Kirill. And I think that she would have felt better in the meta. But she is by far the better unit of the two that I'm going through. Now, I might, and I've still got to depend. I do have tact point, what I'm going to call issues. I'm nearing cap. I've got Seraphie to +1. And I've gotten really lucky on Seraphie. So I want to really thank the game for this. With her being +1 already. And I went very hard for Stark. I might actually use a little bit more ticket pulling with my tact points on Peronel that I normally would. And I really wouldn't mind having her. I think she has a really nice use. And having her at +1 with her unique MP heal or MP regen really makes her viable for some EX fights that go really, really long. But I did get Seraphie. I am going to bring my Seraphie up to help out with 1 or 2 of the abilities to help out. So Peronel isn't as useful, but I will definitely do tickets, and I do hope that I do get her. And if I got to choose which one of the 2 I want, Peronel's easily, to me, better than Rickerd. Now let's go with the A unit that's going to come out, the Ork King. And this is just an all-in-one here. His leadership effect is increased physical power by 5%. It's actually pretty useful. First skill is Fool. Will occasionally significantly reduce skill. This can really lower damage overall. And it might actually, instead of be Fool, it's probably going to be... Actually, no, Fool I think is the right name for this one. Samidar Ashizuki is damage that does 60% physical damage and will rarely seal. And the Dark Thrust is the big damage for pure damage with 160 ZAM physical on all enemies. Theoretically, if there's one unit with the Scimitar Estuary, it can do 240% physical damage, which is going to be a little higher than a 160 ZAM if it's all equal, if the unit is neutral to that element. So the stats here, HP 895 with really low defense of 196. Has the orc problems of having low defense. Can take a spell or two, but cannot take physical attacks that well. So wisdom is also port 127, so it's not like you can make it use as like a healer as well and then have all these negative stats. So agility is okay at 301. Its attack for an A unit is pretty high at 416, but the big issue is the movement being 2. And the MP 251 is plenty to enough for what the Ork King needs for MP overall. Suggested bonus skills, basically Frizz or Whoosh, elemental attack, allow Dark Thrust, and give another elemental attack along with it. But honestly, especially with some of the A units that are going to come up in this event a little bit later, and especially for the next couple events later on, this is a very, very poor A unit. Yeah, actually, this barely made the meta when it came out. And when I mean made meta, it barely was in the top 30 for the A units when this came out in DQ2 for Japan 5 months ago. This is not a very good unit. I am not going to pull for it specifically. And honestly, the only reason that I would be using the Ork King at all is for the Battle Road and for CP. I don't see it used for EX battles. If you are newer to the game, okay, that's fine. But all in all, not a very good unit. Don't go chasing for this waterfall. Alright, so that's all I've got for today. Are any of you guys really excited about the units? This has probably been one of the most disappointing review banners that I've had in a while. Actually, it's really, really disappointing. DQ2 is probably the game I played the second or third most of. I played it when it came out originally, and I played it for an incredible amount of time. So I'm a little disappointed that the heroes aren't all that great. So let me know what you guys think down below. I also want to reiterate that I am hosting a kind of a subscription drive. If we can get to 500 subscribers, I'll do a $10 gift card by September 15th. So we've got a month before that happens. I also will raise that amount each time we go well above that. So every 100 or 150, I will bump it up. And if we get to 1,000, I'll put a very high level, at least a $50 worth, if not, I'll probably add $50 to the overall total and try to do like maybe around $80 or $90 worth of gift cards, and that would be good for Amazon, Apple, or Google Play, whichever one that you guys will like. And I'll do that on a separate video by itself. So I hope you guys really enjoyed my kind of sad post on Dragon Quest II units. They are good units. It's just compared to what we've seen in the last 2 or 2.5 months, I don't think they really compare. If Dragon Quest II was before them, they would have fallen very well onto the power curve that they've been trying to go through. But this one, unfortunately, dips down. The other units definitely go back up with Hargan and Malroth. They are better. If you really want some Dragon Quest II units, I highly suggest that you try and save for those two, and I will cover those a little bit later in the week, as I do know that we are going to get this basically when I upload this video. So I hope you guys do greatly enjoy, and you know what, guys, be safe, and I will see you guys later in the week. Bye, everyone.